friends. Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello, welcome. If I look a little nutty, it's because I just went to a holiday party, redid my makeup a little bit. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this lip. I didn't wear this lip to the party. I wore neutral because it was like a dinner, and I don't like wearing bright things to dinners because I end up looking like a mess. So I threw this on, but I feel like it's a little too orangey, perhaps? I don't know, we'll see. First and foremost, I'm wearing my Glomus merch that I love and adore. Charles and I twinned. We had to wear matching Christmas sweaters to this party, and that is what we chose because he's my #1 fan, first of all. Today's video is a collaboration with my very good friend Lacie of Spooky Lips and Fat Hips. I freaking love Lacie. Lacie's such a good person. Lacie's actually one of the few YouTube friends that I've actually gotten the pleasure of meeting in person, and she is just as you would imagine her. She's like just so lovable and kind and funny and just such a like bubbly, energetic person who's also this like gothic queen. It's insane. She's such a beautiful, warm-hearted person. Her and I basically, I'll link the video collab we did in person down together because we filmed while she was here, and I think she's coming to visit me in January because we live very close to each other now. But Lacie also is like me in the sense that she is a bit, she's very socially conscious. Her and I agree on most things except Taylor Swift, but that's fine. Everyone has to disagree on something. Her and I agree on most things, and we tend to have very similar thought and the way we think about things and our thought processes. And I think if you want really interesting commentary, Lacie has 2 degrees in like these types of fields. Her commentary is very insightful and very educated, and I know she's trying to get to 13,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I believe she's very close. So I think you should go subscribe to my friend Lacie. I'm gonna include a clip right here, and then we'll get right into the topic of the video.
The overconsumption and overproduction of makeup, that bubble has popped. Influencers are reacting to it. Consumers are definitely reacting to it. And brands are now shifting their energy into smaller influencers. And I see this happening from the biggest of brands like ABH. I've seen Jeffree Star do it, and it really breaks my heart. And now I also see a lot of indie brands do it. A lot of indie brands expect smaller influencers to kind of work for free, and they'll reach out to you and want you to do the work of a sponsored video or a sponsored post without actually paying you. And I see a lot of smaller influencers not knowing their worth and not knowing what they should be getting in commission, what they should be asking for a sponsorship fee for. It's really disheartening.
Hello, welcome back. So by the way, the candle of the day today is Vanilla Snowflake. I thought it was appropriate because everyone on the internet calls Lacie and I snowflakes. That's the candle of the day today. It's a new burn. I haven't burned this one yet, so I'm really excited about it. It already smells amazing. So what's our topic? Played back and forth with a lot of different topics, kind of what we wanted to talk about, and then Lacie came up with a really interesting idea about deplatforming. When a person should be deplatformed, kind of like when somebody crosses the line into not deserving a platform. If you don't know what that means, it kind of means like getting their YouTube channel deleted, not able to post on social medias, not able to be even given the opportunity to accumulate any sort of audience where their voice can be heard. And the reason we kind of sparked this was because of, obviously, there's been a lot of drama with Onision. Oh man, I hate even saying that guy's name. I personally have not been covering the Onision stuff on my channel. #1, because I think it's a very complex issue with a lot of details that I think would require a heavy amount of research that I am just not capable of doing. I don't want to make a video that has any sort of false information because all of the allegations and everything that's been talked about is really, really serious, and I don't want to do that. Second of all, I find a lot of the stuff I have heard very personally triggering. I think if you are sensitive to things regarding like sexual abuse and things like that, that would be very triggering for you as well. So I honestly maybe wouldn't look into it. However, Onision is a creator who has been in a lot of controversy lately for a lot of different things, and people on YouTube, large creators and small creators, pretty much a large part of the community have been demanding that he be deplatformed because of these things. And even recently, Patreon actually, which is where he was getting most of his income from, Patreon actually did decide to deplatform Onision and take away his ability to have patrons and have a Patreon, which which is a big deal. I think anytime somebody gets deplatformed, it's definitely something where we need to have like a conversation about. And so that was really crazy, but a lot of people lately have been very upset because YouTube is kind of cracking down on these new guidelines where they're taking away channels, taking away their monetization, taking away videos, just because somebody was like mean to somebody else. Like they took down the iDubbbz content cop because he made fun of Leafy's chin in the video, and like that video was taken down. But like they won't take down Onision's channel with all of the allegations against him. You know what I mean? And so I think because of this, there's been sort of this conversation of deplatforming. I think there's multiple levels to the amount a person can be deplatformed. I'm gonna say that word 1,000 times in this video, I can already tell you. I think there's a lot of levels to that because I think, first of all, kind of what I consider in a way taking away someone's platform is demonetization on YouTube. So what that means, if you don't know, demonetization is if YouTube, you're making money on YouTube and you're making money from your YouTube videos, and then YouTube takes away the right for you to make money on the platform. And I think some people feel that this is a form of taking away someone's platform because if they can't make money doing it, they're not gonna do it, okay? They can still post on the platform, they can still post whatever they want on YouTube, but they're not gonna make money from it. And then there's a whole other level where your channel just gets completely taken away. You are no longer allowed to create on this platform anymore. You are no longer allowed to have an audience on this platform. Those are the kind of the two levels that I think people talk about a lot. So with that in mind, let's start with just demonetization in general, because I think that's rampant amongst YouTubers right now. Like everybody constantly talks about demonetization, and I might have an unpopular opinion on this. Do I think that YouTubers' demonetization algorithm is screwed up? Absolutely. Susan recently sat down with Eugene from the Try Guys. Susan is the CEO of YouTube. It's a very good interview. I'd highly recommend watching it. I'll link it down below. And they talked a lot about the algorithm that decides demonetization and how it's a learning algorithm, so it's only going to get better over time, and how it is getting better and all these things, right? And so I think demonetization can happen for dumb reasons, and I'm not saying that it can't. Like, I think there are definitely stupid reasons that people's videos get demonetized, and I think, you know, people like Philip DeFranco who report on the news, their videos are getting demonetized like every single day, you know, like that's ridiculous. However, I do kind of feel, and this might make people angry, but I do feel like YouTube is allowed to demonetize whoever they want for whatever reason. I've had videos demonetized before, and it sucks. It's the worst feeling in the world. It's the worst to know that you put so much time into something expecting to be compensated for it and then you weren't. It sucks, right? Like it does suck. And then you like get it reviewed and then it just doesn't get monetized and they refuse to monetize the video and it sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. However, YouTube as a platform has every right in the world to demonetize people. I've been seeing this rhetoric amongst a side of social media that I don't like to frequent, that people who are, I don't know how to do this video without getting political, so I guess if you don't want me to get even just a teeny bit political, don't keep watching. But there is kind of this rhetoric that people who are maybe are extremists, you know, are homophobic and racist and sexist and are promoting those homophobic and racist and sexist things on their platform. A lot of people in those circles think that YouTube unfairly targets them for their political beliefs. In my opinion, and this might not be an unpopular one, I think YouTube has every right not to pay people who don't align with their beliefs. So I would really hope that YouTube doesn't believe in things like homophobia and doesn't believe in things like racism, and that they wouldn't monetize content that promotes those things. And I think they have every right and should do that, okay? Nobody should be making money by making content that is spreading and perpetuating hate speech. That's not a thing that should be happening. Then I think you also have this flip end of that, where as much as I freaking hate it, apparently, and I know that YouTube like just adamantly denies that this is the case, but just watch the Nerds. There's a video by Nerds. I'm sorry I'm referencing so many videos in this one, but I just have done a little bit of research on this topic. There's a YouTuber called Nerd City who did a kind of experiment, if you will, and showed that YouTube absolutely, the algorithm, absolutely is more prone to demonetizing LGBTQIA plus content. They are way more prone to demonetizing that and not allowing creators who are just like sharing their coming out stories, doing really positive things for the community. They're way more likely to demonetize those videos. And I know they deny it, but they do. And I disagree with that. I think that people who are promoting, you know, more positive things, I don't think people who are just promoting their lives and their journeys and people who are promoting positivity for oppressed groups should be demonetized. Hi, it's editing me. I just wanted to make, I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, how are you? I wanted to make a quick point here that I think too, because I think people get confused sometimes because they're like, oh, well, if you want to demonetize a group of people who are, say, like homophobic for their opinion, then they have every right to also silence people who are in the LGBTQIA plus community. And I disagree with that statement. And the reason I disagree with it is, number one, because one is promoting hate and one is promoting positivity, but that's besides the point. But the other point that I think is really interesting, and I think that's why people bring up lawsuits in this situation, is because the question kind of becomes, is not monetizing that content and taking away the ability to be paid, is that, I tried to make this point in the video, but I said it poorly, but is that a form of discrimination? Is that a form of, working discrimination? Because technically you're not paying these people, this community, because of who they are. And we have laws in some places that do protect against that. So I think that's why there's been legal things brought up, because I think kind of a new territory of, is internet content, not letting them be employable, is that violating their rights? And I think it's a really interesting topic. I think that one's so hard because it's like, it's like new ground kind of. And I hope we make the right decisions going forward. And I hope YouTube makes the right decisions going forward on the issue, because how it is right now is not right, in my opinion. So then we get into this sort of mindset of taking someone's platform away altogether, banning them off of YouTube. And to me, again, this might be unpopular, and I hope it's tough, because I live in America. So I live in America, and a very big thing here is freedom of speech. It's like the number one thing. Everybody always is like, we have freedom and never mind that like tons of other countries also have it. Like, that's our thing. We have freedom. Like, we have freedom of speech, freedom of the press, which is trying to be squandered right now, but that's fine. Freedom of speech. Okay. So I think a lot of people get very touchy and very heated at the idea of taking away someone's platform and censoring them, because I think the idea of censorship is very anti-American values that we have, right? And so it's hard for me because those values have been ingrained in my brain just a little bit, of like, everyone should have the freedom to speak. But at the same time, in my brain, I'm like, but there are people who are so gosh darn stupid and who are causing so much harm with their voices, and who are hurting and actively pursuing violence. People like Onision, who have done horrible, horrible, horrible things. People like Alex Jones was someone who I thought of when I thought of deplatforming, because they kicked him off of Twitter, who was literally just tormenting the parents of the kids who were murdered in the Sandy Hook massacre. People like that, I'm like, absolutely, you deserve to be deplatformed. Absolutely, you should not be allowed to have an audience. You shouldn't be allowed to have a platform. You are actively hurting people with your words. Your actions are actively hurting people. You've done horrible things. But then I think about it, and this is where the Onision situation gets so tricky, because in my brain, I'm like, yes, deplatform this man. He doesn't deserve this hype. He doesn't deserve this. And then at the same time, I feel like it's a case-by-case basis. We have people who have committed horrific crimes and have committed not even just like violent crimes, but like, financial crimes and doing horrible things. And they write books and they have platforms and they have people that love them and, praise them and buy their books and give them more money by buying the freaking books. And so it's hard for me to be like, on the basis of something on your actions, that you deserve to be deplatformed, in the sense that like you're just a terrible person. I think that's where it gets dicey. And I think that's where you have to make a case-by-case analysis. I think particularly in the Onision case, I think if you look at everything and you look at all the evidence and you watch everything about it, I do believe he deserves to be deplatformed. I do believe that he's hurt people. I believe that he has done horrible things. Him having a platform is putting other people at risk, because he has been predatory towards young women. So giving him this platform where he can continue to do things like that is morally not right. He shouldn't have a platform anymore. He's abusing his platform. That's the whole other topic too, is like abusing your platform. Like, at what point does abuse of platform mean that you get deplatformed? Like Romeo Lacosta, we see all these like freaking Vine boys like sliding into like 13-year-olds DMs, being creepy as like so creepy. And it's like, at what point is abusing your platform get that taken away? Like, it's such a hard line to walk. When Lacie posed this question of when is it time for a person to be deplatformed, and it's like, I don't know. It's so case by case and it's so person by person, because at the end of the day, if a person is spewing hate speech and spewing racism, at the end of the day, legally, as like an legally, they have the right to do that. that? Do I hate it? Do I wish it wasn't a thing? Do I wish I could just shut them up? Do I wish we could just have like a couple hour long conversation about why they're wrong about everything they're saying? Of course, like I so wish that I could, but I can't. I'm not able to do that. In my opinion, I think that is promoting violence. And I think that is promoting and hurting people by saying what they're saying. I think saying racist stuff is perpetuating a society of violence and perpetuating this horrible cycle that we're just stuck in of systemic oppression. But at the end of the day, like technically, they're not actually hurting anybody, technically. So like, yeah, you can't really just take their platform away. You can't just take the platform away of people you don't like. I remember when John Cuckian, when that whole thing happened, everyone was like, take his platform away. And it's just like, and while I was like, okay, like I see the point, I get it. It's like you can't just take their platform away because they did something that we don't like. We can't do that. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that like wishes we could. A little bit, like there really is a part of me, but I don't think that makes the world a better place. I don't think living in an echo chamber makes the world a better place. I think knowledge is the biggest form of, as cheesy as this is, I think knowledge is a huge form of power. And I think at least knowing where these other people are coming from, where people who think differently than you are coming from, what their argument is, why they think the way that they think, kind of can help you. And I don't want you to get in arguments with people about stuff. Like don't go out and like argue with someone you disagree with just because you disagree with them. But I think listening and understanding how they think and just understanding can sometimes, not all the time, can sometimes sort of help. I don't know if I believe that though. That's a tough one for me because I believe it. I believe that listening to other opinions and getting other opinions and understanding where they're coming from, but I never can understand where people are coming from. This is where it gets really hard for me because, and this is something I work on too a lot, is like understanding where people are coming from. Because in my opinion, if you are actively believing that not every person on this planet deserves the basic human right to life, like food, clothing, housing, if you don't, not just getting murdered, not just getting shot for being a woman, not just getting shot for being gay, like not just getting shot for being black, like if you don't believe that everybody deserves a right to a life, like, and I can't understand that. I can't accept that. And that's where it gets so hard for me because I'm like, do I think they need to be deplatformed? No, because it's like, it's freedom of speech, you know what I mean? But do I think you're a terrible person? Yeah. I have a really, really difficult time with listening and understanding people who think that way. I do. I have a genuinely difficult time with it because your thoughts and your actions and your words that you're saying, whether it's direct or indirect, is hurting other people. And that's where I have a problem, Like, and again, I don't know if that means you should be deplatformed. I think deplatforming is a case-by-case basis. This video got way off track. I'm so sorry. Like, I feel like now I'm just like venting because it's just so, it's hard sometimes being on the internet and having to remain, and this is why sometimes I shy away from talking about serious topics because it's hard to be on the internet and have to pretend to be neutral about something like this. Because when it comes to Onision, I'm like, yeah, take his channel away. When it comes to the end of the day with John Cuckian, the worst thing he did was lie about a person, which is awful and illegal, but it doesn't mean that you get deplatformed. Like you have to do so much serious, crazy things and hurt so many people in order to lose your platform, at least in my opinion. And I don't know if that's unpopular, I don't know, but I just feel like we can't just throw that around. You know what I mean? I feel like if you start doing that too much, it takes away the true severity and what it means to have someone get their platform taken away, I don't know if this video made any sense at all. Hi friends. This is editing me. I just wanted to do like a quick, brief thesis statement because I feel like this video was kind of just a conscious stream of thoughts. It wasn't actually I feel like I didn't clearly put my point across, and so I want to do that for you now just so we're very clear about it. I feel like I was just kind of rambling, which is fine, but I want to make it very clear how I feel. So I feel, in the topic of demonetization, I feel like it's wrong to demonetize certain groups of people, as we talked about how it could be potentially violating rights, but at the same time, YouTube is a platform. They're allowed to do what they want. We can't say demonetizing, this XYZ is okay, but not XYZ. It's never going to please everyone. So while we can fight to make sure it's not a violation of people's rights, at the end of the day, as a platform, they are allowed to do what they want to do. I also think I want to make it really clear that I think there's a difference between like censorship and deplatforming, because I think taking away someone's monetization is not a form of censorship, but I do think deplatforming is a form of censorship, and that's why it's something that needs to be taken so seriously. That's why we can't just throw it around with creators like, you know, John Cucky and just people we just don't like. We can't do that. We have to make sure that if we are going to censor somebody and we are going to take away their platform, that it is for a legitimate reason and for like a lot of a shown behavior of things. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I just wanted to summarize it. I'm not okay with deplatforming for the most part, but I do think there are circumstances where it is necessary, and I think there are circumstances where it does need to happen, and those are the circumstances that we kind of touched on. So I hope that puts it all in like a one concise sort of thing. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the video. Here's my cute little outro. I really hope it did. I don't want to refilm it. Let me know what you guys think about the whole issue of deplatforming. Let me know what you guys think about if you think we should be more severe, if demonetization is too harsh of a punishment for people, if it's not harsh enough, if we need to be taking more people off. Like, let me know. So I'm very curious what you guys think about this topic. It's really tough. And I think especially in a lot of places in the world right now where the political climate is so isolating. Like, the political climate just makes things so complicated. When you bring politics into a situation, it inevitably gets 10 times messier. And so I think when you bring politics into an idea like deplatforming, it makes it a billion times messier. It's like, well, you just don't like this person because they don't believe what you believe. And then it's like this, it's like, you're a snowflake, it's the whole thing. Anyway, I hope you guys liked my video. I hope it made sense. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just like, or just subscribe, or do neither. I'm honestly just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, including my little Glomus merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with Lacie's channel. Please check out Lacie's channel. I really want her to hit 13K by the end of the year because I know she's really excited about it. Along with all of that will be a link to register to vote. That's right. A lot of the things I just talked about, we can help with voting. I don't know if that'll help with, but my link to register to vote is down below. You can click on that link, you can register to vote, and you can be part of your democracy in your local, state, and federal elections. And if you're not from the United States and that link does not apply to you, please make sure you're staying informed on what's going on just around you, your town, your city, you know, your country. Use your voice in a positive way, always. Because, like, truly and honestly, I'm like depressed after filming this video. Like everything, politics make me sad, man. Just use your voice in a positive way because the world really needs more of it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.